We have a policy against political apparel here. With these words, a Los Angeles restaurant manager unknowingly set off a chain of events that would captivate the nation. The target? Cristiano Ronaldo, wearing a MAGA hat. But it's what Ronaldo did next that truly shocked everyone. His response to this public rejection wasn't just unexpected, it was revolutionary. Get ready to witness a story that will challenge your assumptions and inspire you to think differently about how we handle conflict in our divided society. The sun-drenched streets of Los Angeles buzzed with the usual midday energy as Cristiano Ronaldo's sleek black SUV pulled up to LA Terrasse. The restaurant, a favorite haunt of the rich and famous, sat nestled among palm trees and designer boutiques. Ronaldo stepped out, his presence immediately drawing the attention of passers-by and patrons alike. He cut an imposing figure in tailored jeans and a crisp white shirt, topped with the unmistakable red MAGA hat. The soccer superstar exuded an air of confidence as he strode towards the entrance, nodding at the valet who rushed to park his car. Ronaldo was accustomed to being the center of attention, and today was no exception. As he entered the dimly lit interior of LA Terrasse, conversations hushed and heads turned. The maitre d' greeted him with a practiced smile, leading him to a prime table with a view of the bustling street. Ronaldo settled in, seemingly oblivious to the mix of admiration and curiosity his arrival had stirred. It wasn't long before the restaurant manager approached, his face a mask of professional concern. He leaned in close, speaking in low tones. "Mr. Ronaldo, I apologize, but we have a policy against political apparel here. Would you mind removing your hat?" The words hung in the air between them. Ronaldo's expression shifted from surprise to disbelief. He'd faced tough opponents on the field, but this was unexpected territory. "Excuse me?" he asked, his Portuguese accent more pronounced in his state of shock. The manager, visibly uncomfortable but standing firm, repeated the request. "It's a house rule, sir. We aim to maintain a neutral environment for all our guests." As the exchange continued, a hush fell over the restaurant. Other diners, many of them celebrities in their own right, watched the scene unfold with a mix of fascination and unease. Phones discreetly emerged from pockets and purses, capturing snippets of the confrontation. Ronaldo, his face flushed with a mix of embarrassment and indignation, slowly stood up. He towered over the manager, his body language tense. For a moment, it seemed as if he might argue further. But then, with a curt nod, he turned and walked towards the exit. The restaurant remained silent as Ronaldo pushed through the doors, emerging onto the sun-soaked sidewalk. Paparazzi, always on alert for celebrity sightings, began snapping photos furiously. Ronaldo's usual media-ready smile was nowhere to be seen as he strode to his waiting car, ignoring the shouted questions from reporters who had materialized seemingly out of thin air. As the SUV pulled away from the curb, leaving behind a stunned crowd and a restaurant full of whispering patrons, one question hung in the air. How would Cristiano Ronaldo, a man accustomed to adulation and VIP treatment, respond to this very public rejection? While Cristiano Ronaldo's SUV sped away from LA Terrasse, a seemingly insignificant action was about to change everything. A bystander, phone in hand, had captured the moment. What would happen when they hit post? Ronaldo's fans, eager for glimpses of their idol's glamorous Los Angeles lifestyle, were about to get more than they bargained for. As the soccer star's vehicle disappeared into traffic, a young woman named Sarah, who had been enjoying lunch at a nearby cafe, tapped out a quick tweet. "Just saw Cristiano Ronaldo kicked out of LA Terrasse for wearing a MAGA hat. Manager looked terrified but stood his ground. Celebrity drama. Within minutes, Sarah's post began to gain traction. Retweets and likes multiplied exponentially as the story spread like wildfire across Twitter. Soon, Check Your Ronaldo Kicked Out was trending, not just in Los Angeles or the United States, but worldwide. The incident sparked intense debates online. Supporters of Ronaldo expressed outrage at what they perceived as discrimination, while others praised the restaurant for taking a stand against political symbolism. The comment sections of news websites and social media platforms became battlegrounds of heated arguments. As the hashtag climbed Twitter's trending list, major media outlets picked up the story. Entertainment news shows scrambled to get exclusive details, while political commentators seized the opportunity to discuss the broader implications of the incident. Within hours, what had started as a local celebrity encounter had morphed into a global talking point. Amidst the frenzy, one voice remained conspicuously absent: Ronaldo's. His silence only fueled further speculation and division among his fans and critics alike. Some interpreted it as embarrassment, others as defiance. Without an official statement, social media users filled the void with their own theories and interpretations. The incident began to take on a life of its own. Memes featuring Ronaldo in various headgear flooded the internet. Parody accounts sprung up, role-playing as the restaurant manager or the MAGA hat itself. Even other celebrities weighed in, some offering support for Ronaldo, others backing the restaurant's decision. As the day wore on, the pressure for an official response mounted. Finally, late in the evening, Ronaldo's PR team released a brief statement. "We are aware of the incident at LA Terrasse. Cristiano Ronaldo will address the situation personally in the coming days. We ask for patience and understanding during this time." The statement, rather than quelling the controversy, only served to heighten anticipation. Social media buzzed with predictions about Ronaldo's next move. Would he apologize, double down, sue the restaurant? As night fell on Los Angeles, the incident at LA Terrasse had transformed from a simple restaurant dispute into a cultural flashpoint. The power of social media had turned a moment of private embarrassment into a public spectacle, leaving millions around the world wondering, how would one of soccer's biggest stars navigate this unexpected challenge to his public image? In the wake of the LA Terrasse incident, Cristiano Ronaldo found himself at the center of a media storm. As social media exploded with opinions and hashtags, the soccer superstar retreated to his Los Angeles mansion, away from the prying eyes of paparazzi and fans alike. The air was thick with tension as Ronaldo called an emergency meeting with his PR team. The team arrived expecting a typical damage control session. They had prepared statements, apologies, and strategies to mitigate the fallout. As they gathered in Ronaldo's sleek home office, the mood was somber. The lead publicist, a seasoned professional named Maria, opened her laptop, ready to present their carefully crafted plan. But Ronaldo had other ideas. As the team began to discuss potential apology statements, he held up his hand, silencing the room. "No," he said firmly, his eyes reflecting a determination that had propelled him to the top of the soccer world. "We're not going to apologize. We're going to do something different." The PR team exchanged uneasy glances. Ronaldo leaned forward, his voice filled with conviction. "I want to organize a fundraiser," he announced, Right there at LA Terrasse. The room fell silent. Maria's fingers hovered over her keyboard, frozen in disbelief. A fundraiser, she repeated, her voice laced with skepticism. Cristiano, with all due respect, I'm not sure that's the best approach. The backlash could be severe. Ronaldo stood up, pacing the room as he explained his vision. He spoke of unity, of bringing people together despite their differences. This isn't about politics, he insisted. It's about understanding, about showing that we can disagree and still respect each other. The team listened, their expressions a mix of doubt and growing intrigue. They raised concerns about logistics, about the restaurant's willingness to participate, about the potential for the event to backfire spectacularly. But with each question, Ronaldo's resolve only seemed to strengthen. As the discussion continued, the energy in the room began to shift. The team's initial skepticism gave way to cautious optimism. They began to see the potential in Ronaldo's unconventional approach. This wasn't just damage control. It was an opportunity to change the narrative entirely. By the end of the meeting, plans for the event were starting to take shape. Calls were made, ideas were tossed around, and a tentative date was set. As the team filed out of the office, there was a palpable sense of excitement mixed with a nervous energy. Ronaldo stood at the window, looking out over the Los Angeles skyline. He knew he was taking a risk, but he also knew that sometimes the greatest victories come from the most unexpected place. The soccer star, who had faced down countless opponents on the field, was now preparing for perhaps his most challenging match yet. One played not on grass, but in the court of public opinion. As the Los Angeles sun rose on the day of the fundraiser, an air of anticipation blanketed the city. Would Ronaldo's risky play pay off, or would it backfire spectacularly? The answer lay in the hands of an unlikely group of people gathered outside LA Terrasse. The restaurant, once a symbol of exclusivity, had transformed overnight into a melting pot of diversity. Supporters and critics alike stood shoulder to shoulder, their eyes fixed on the makeshift stage erected on the sidewalk. News vans lined the street, their satellite dishes reaching skyward like metal trees in an urban forest. Inside LA Terrace, the manager paced nervously, his eyes darting between the growing crowd and the kitchen staff hurriedly preparing hors d'oeuvres. The weight of the moment pressed down on him, his decision to enforce the no politics policy now having spiraled into an event of international proportions. A murmur rippled through the crowd as Cristiano Ronaldo emerged from a black SUV. He walked towards the stage with purpose, his trademark confident stride on full display. But something was different. The MAGA hat that had sparked this controversy was conspicuously absent, replaced by an expression of calm determination. As Ronaldo took the microphone, a hush fell over the assembled throng. He began to speak, his voice carrying the same intensity he brought to the soccer pitch, but tempered with a note of humility. I stand before you today, not as a celebrity, not as a soccer player, but as a human being, Ronaldo began. What happened here last week was a moment of misunderstanding. But from that moment, we have an opportunity to create understanding. The crowd listened intently as Ronaldo shared his vision of unity. He spoke of the power of dialogue, of the importance of listening to those with different views. As he continued, the initial skepticism in the eyes of many began to soften. We live in a world quick to judge, quick to divide, Ronaldo said, his words resonating with the diverse audience. But today, we choose to come together. We choose to listen. We choose to understand. As Ronaldo's speech neared its conclusion, he did something unexpected. He turned towards the restaurant and called out to the manager, "Sir, would you join me on this stage?" A collective gasp rose from the crowd. The manager, visibly startled, hesitated for a moment before slowly making his way outside. As he climbed the steps to the stage, Ronaldo extended his hand. The two men, who had been at odds just days before, now stood side by side. "This is how we begin," Ronaldo said, his arm around the manager's shoulder. Not with anger or resentment, but with openness and respect. The crowd erupted in applause, their cheers drowning out the constant click of camera shutters. What had begun as a potential PR disaster had transformed into a powerful message of unity and understanding, proving that sometimes the most unexpected plays can lead to the greatest victories. As Ronaldo and the manager clasped hands on stage, a palpable sense of reconciliation swept through the crowd. Their gesture, simple yet powerful, resonated far beyond the confines of LA Terrace. The fundraiser, born from controversy, had blossomed into a triumph of community spirit. Local programs found themselves flush with unexpected support, their coffers swelling with donations from attendees moved by the day's events. But the impact of Ronaldo's unconventional response rippled even further. Across social media platforms and news outlets, a new conversation emerged. People from all walks of life began to examine their own biases and reactions. The incident at LA Terrasse had transformed from a flashpoint of division into a catalyst for introspection and dialogue about respect in a fractured society.